Hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning into The Divide on WRFZ 106.3 Rochester Free Radio. You're listening to The Divide with Marcus C. Williams. If you're watching us online, please make sure that you hit like, subscribe, and share. Definitely take 2 seconds, hit that share button on there, hit the thumbs up, hit the like, drop some comments. Every comment helps. And if you're listening to us on the radio, make sure that you tell your friends, your family, and even your enemies. Tune into The Divide with Marcus C. Williams Mondays, 2:30 to 4 p.m. on WRFZ 106.3, the number one radio station to be. All right. So we're going to jump into it. I'm going to give you a little fair warning as we get into this show. Okay. I'm not here to sugarcoat stuff for people today. This is going to be a show that might just make you a little bit of feeling some type of way. And honestly, I think we need to have the serious conversations, and that's why you're here watching us today. So make sure that you hit that like and share. And if you drop a comment, we will try to get it up on the screen and on the air. If you're listening to us on the radio, you can always tune in to us on YouTube, the Marcus C. Williams channel. Now, here on this show, we like to encourage people to get active in politics locally. It's not about what party you are. It's about if you feel like the stuff in your community locally is not going the right way that you want to, you need to get involved and change something. But far too often, everybody tries to distract you with what's going on the federal level. Oh, the president is bad. This is going on there. Da, 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 da. And I see it far too often. And I live in New York State, you guys. So if you're listening elsewhere in the country, I live in New York State with the high priestess, Kathy Hochul. Now, if you're not familiar with her, she doesn't believe in the United States Constitution. She got on the television after the Bruin decision and from the Supreme Court that the Supreme Court said that New York State's gun laws are unconstitutional and they have to change the way that they issue permits. And she got on the TV and said that the Supreme Court has their ruling, let them try to enforce it, which is something that Andrew, the Indian killer Jackson, said. And Andrew Jackson was the founder of the Democrat Party. So that's just them carrying it on. Now, Andrew Jackson said that specific comment in relation to the Indian Removal Act, which they displaced hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of American Indians from the East Coast and from the southern East Coast and moved many of them out to Oklahoma and places over there. You may have heard of some of it called the Trail of Tears. So Andrew Jackson was also the founder of the Democrat Party. He was the reason why they split. They were the Republican, the Democratic Republic Party, Democrat Republic Party. So anyway, they split from there because the Democrats wanted to keep slavery. That's why they split from the Republicans. That's exactly what happened. But nowadays, we see many people say, oh, well, the Democrats are good and the Republicans are bad, or the Republicans are bad and the Democrats are good. Well, let's talk about the policies that are implemented, and that's a very serious problem. And it goes back to the distractions that we see in government every single day. Again, I live in New York State with the high priestess, Kathy Hochul, and I call her that because she swears that she speaks for the Lord himself. She got on the TV during COVID and say, the Lord told me that everybody should get those shots. No, he didn't. Blasphemy. She got up on the TV and straight blasphemed, and she was in a church when she said that. It's unacceptable that they didn't run her out of the church when she said that nonsense. And this is part of the whole problem. They say this nonsense about the separation of church and state, which is not in the Constitution anywhere. That comes from some Thomas Jefferson letter that he had wrote, which wasn't even about that. The whole concept of separation of church and state was to prevent the federal government from creating a church like what happened in England, because the king, the King Henry VIII, the one that cut off all his wives' heads and divorced his wives and married all types of other women and was all types of adulterous, that dude, because he banished the Catholic Church and took over the Catholic Church and started the Anglican Church, which is underneath him. And that's what they wanted to prevent. They wanted to prevent the government from actually taking over the church. It had nothing to do with keeping the church out of politics. It was completely to stop the government from creating its own church. So it's completely different than what people try to make it seem like. They be out here lying to people so bad, and it's so upsetting because it's complete deception. And so many, they've repeated that lie so long that it started to become truth to many people, and it's not true. It's not true at all. There's no such thing as separation of church and state. You understand? But I know many people don't understand. That's why we have to speak on it. And it's important to get these type of messages out there. If you're watching right now online, hit the share button, hit the heart button, give a thumbs up, or drop a little heart in the comments or a smiley face, drop an American flag in the comments. I love to see those. Okay, show me some patriotism. Okay, I see that thumbs up. Thank you very, very much. And if you guys drop a comment, I'll do my best to get it up on the screen and talk about it on air. So as we're in here, we're talking about the separation of church and state. Some people are mad because President Trump at his first cabinet meeting had prayer. I believe it was the Secretary of HUD that was doing the prayer right there, a black man. You understand what I'm saying? But you know, anytime when Democrats see that a black man is doing something that they don't like, that they feel goes against them, all of a sudden they want to jump down his throat. You understand? This is a serious, serious issue, because the problem with the Democrat Party is they are still, and I stand on this, the most racist of parties that there is. Because like Malcolm X said, the white liberals are the worst threat to black Americans that exist, to the Negro, he said. You understand what I'm saying? That is a real thing, because he said, because they play in your, I'm paraphrasing, because they play in your face and try to play like they're your friend when they're not your friend, and they don't want anything good for you. That's the Democrats that he's talking about. Okay, that's Malcolm X right there. And it's interesting, if you guys ever seen the Malcolm X movie with Denzel Washington, that's a great movie. I recommend it to everybody. It's a great, great movie. But there was this liberal white woman that came up to Malcolm X in the movie, and she's like, "Oh, I've watched so many of your speeches and stuff like that, and I really appreciate what you're doing, and I want to, how can I help, or whatever the case is, how can I get involved?" And he was like, "You can't. We don't need you." She's like, "How can I help?" He's like, "You can't." And walked off, mic drop, walked out her face. And this is something that we don't understand nowadays, because it seems that a lot of black Americans, even though we have traditional family values, we're traditionally conservative, we're traditionally church-based, okay? And a lot of people, I see the comments there, Dave, who's that? Gaddafi Bay. I see you guys. I'll pop them up in a second. But this is the problem that we've experienced as black Americans. Too many people have gone over to this liberalist, not even, it's far left at this point, right? Like, it might have started off liberal-ish. Now it's far left, largely. All of the policies from the Democrat Party disenfranchise black Americans, okay? They don't benefit us. And if you're white American, you're like, well, what about white Americans? Well, what about white Americans, right? We've got a large portion of white Americans believe in family values. A majority of white Americans are Christian. Do you think that the Democrat Party is upholding those things? You understand what I'm saying? So this is a continued issue with the Democrat Party themselves. And they try to say, oh, well, we're for the common working man and those in poverty. Are you? Your policies don't show me that. And this is the issue, because they give talking points. They say, oh, this person is bad, that person is bad. Oh, these issues are coming up. Well, what are your solutions, right? They got a bill right now that they're trying to pass for some pocket money for people when they get out of prison. Don't play in my face and spit in my eye, yo. The Democrats are out here playing with people. Instead of talking about real comprehensive prison reform, which, as a Republican, as a very conservative person, I am the self-appointed king of conservatives in this area, okay? As a very conservative person, I'm the only person that will talk about the need for comprehensive prison reform. Explain that to me, Democrats. If you guys care so much, how come you don't actually want to do anything about repairing the prison system? Make it make sense to me. Now we got the prisoners that are the people that are the prisoners are rioting in the prisons because the correctional officers are out on protesting because of the quality of life and the work hours and stuff that are there and going on. And we had the unfortunate instance with Robert Brooks, which we covered on the previous show. and all of this other nonsense. But what are the Democrats doing to do anything to address any of that? Zero, zilch, nada. But they play in your face and they tell you that they care, but they don't show it in their policies. They don't show it in their policies. Oh, you're going to give somebody a couple of dollars for when they come out of jail? Are you serious? When they need jobs, right? They need to be connected with jobs. Here's a solution. Connect the people with the jobs inside jail, inside the prison, so that when they get out, they can go right into the workforce. Hello. It's not a complicated thought, okay? Jobs are begging and pleading for people to work. You understand? So these are things that can be done that they refuse to do. I'm about to pop these comments up in 2 seconds as soon as I finish right here. But another thing is they need housing. They need housing. You let the people out of prison, where do they go? Maybe if they're lucky, they get a halfway house. And most of those are nothing more than a half a crack den, or a half what you call them people? Half organized crime facility. You understand what I'm saying? Like, we're not being serious here. They don't want real serious solutions, and they definitely don't want to implement any of them, because if they actually did, then they wouldn't have anything to wave in the face and say, oh, people are being oppressed. Oh, people are being kept down. You're the ones who are keeping the people down. The Democrats are the ones who are keeping the people down. Are you serious? Stop playing in my face. This is real serious. Let's go to a couple of these comments. We're going to jump right back in here. Dave said, Marcus is the man. Dave, I love you so much, good brother. I appreciate you. Hey, and if you guys are watching online or listening on the radio, please make sure that you donate $, Cash App, $MW Real, the number one. That's $MW Real 1 on Cash App. Drop what you can. Please, $10, $25, $50, whatever you can do. We're working on raising $100 each episode so that we can get more equipment, better equipment, and do more actual radio programming. Radio programming costs money, you guys. I need your support so that we continue to have these important conversations. So please donate. That's Cash App, $MW Real, the number one. And we've got PayPal and Venmo too. PayPal and Venmo is at Marcus C. Williams. Okay. We also have givesendgo.com/Marcus C. Williams. So you can donate any of those 4 ways. Do what you can, whatever. And please, if you do donate, drop a comment and I'll do my best to pop it up there and say that you donated. Encourage other people to match your donation. $10, $25, $50, whatever you can do. We try to raise $100 per show so that we can start to save up to get some better equipment and get more airtime, because we definitely need more airtime so that we can be in your ear having the conversations you need to hear. Dave, I love you so much. Thank you. Let's see. Gaddafi Bey says, I thought Malcolm X was talking about all white people. Okay, he talked about all white people. That is very true. But that was specifically about the white liberal, was what I was mentioning at that point. He did talk about all white people, but that specifically was about the white liberal, because he said that the difference, and I'm paraphrasing, between the white liberal and the white conservative is the white liberal pretends to be your friend. The white conservative does not. And those are the most serious people that you have to deal with, is the people that try to play in your face like they really do care, but they do not. So that's something right there. Very important. Okay, Ryan says, Marcus, thanks again for the great meeting today. Let's restore traditional values and conservatism to our country. God bless you, brother. We need to restore traditional values and conservative values in our country. We must go back to our roots, okay? We must. The roots of our country are based in the foundational principles of Christianity, and we are a Christian nation, even though people try to say that we're not. Like I just said with my spiel about the fact that that there is no real separation of church and state, and that was all a lie from the pits of hell, from these demonic people that are trying to make sure that they continue to push the moral, whatever you want to say, the moral lever more and more and more and more and farther to the left, more to the demonic. Because what did they say? You know, people used to warn, and this isn't me talking one way or another about it, but I warned you when I started this show today that somebody gonna have some hurt feelings. Don't have no hurt feelings. I'm only here to tell you the truth and have the conversations we need to have, and you're more than welcome to participate in them conversations with me. So when I was little, the elders used to tell me about the gay people getting married, right? And they said, well, the gay people started off talking about, oh, well, we want a civil union, and that's all we want. We just want a civil union. Well, they got a civil union. And then what did they want? Then they wanted the right to get married. So they said it was a civil union. That was all that they wanted. Then they wanted the right to get married. That was all that they wanted. Now they got the right to get married. Now they want men to play in women's sports. Are you serious? Now they want your child, your boy, to cut off his wedding tackle, or your female, or your young female daughter to get her what do you call them? Double mastectomy, her breast cut off. Are we serious? Is this what we're doing as a society right now? This is how that moralistic needle continues to move when you take God out of the equation. It's a very serious situation. Ryan, thank you so much, good brother. And this is a very serious situation. The further we move away from God, the more and more crazy stuff happens. So, and I'll give you the best example I can give you with talking about this alphabet stuff specifically, is how there are so many gay people and lesbians, you know, the homosexual, what do you call it, section of the age of the LGB, you know, they want to separate from the T and the Q and the I and the plus and the two-spirited and all of this other nonsense, because it's not the same, right? Like, one is a gender identity, one is a sexual orientation. It's not even the same, but they lump them all together, and they do the same thing with melanated individuals. Okay, we're gonna get back on this topic with the Democrats, because I'm sick and tired, you guys. The Democrats playing in our face. Like I said earlier with the Malcolm X piece, yeah, and Gaddafi Bey was mentioned. He said, well, didn't he talk about all white people? Yes, but there is this one section, specifically the liberals, that say, the white liberals, that say that they are for black people, that say that they are for the impoverished people, that say they are for the working class people, but they continue to sabotage all of us, not just black Americans, but the working class. They've been saying that they care about the union so much, union power and all of this nonsense and all of that nonsense. Y'all don't care about unions. Y'all don't, because y'all let the union sit there and organize and for stuff that is going to end up hurting them, instead of passing laws to bring back manufacturing to the United States, instead of passing laws that make it so that these companies that are replacing people with machines need to either, I don't know, let's have some solutions. Work on putting these other people that they're pushing out into other jobs, you know, maybe cutting them a severance package or something like this. Because as we continue forward with this march of AI, more and more people are going to be dismissed. They're talking about 100 million people. This is the CBO, the Central Budget Office, and the what is it? The Office for Management. Was it the OBM? Anyway, the other government office, I forget the letter initials, okay, the Office of Budget Management or whatever it is. They're talking about that there are likely to be 100 million people put out of jobs in the United States of America by 2030. That's 1/3 of the population is going to be put out of jobs by 2030 because of AI. Where are those conversations from the Democrats? You understand what I'm saying? But then when all of a sudden, when it is a huge problem, then you support the unions. You didn't support the unions before that. I got an issue with the, what you call them, the port people. They've been automating the ports for years. Now all of a sudden it's a problem. The port thing has been a problem for probably the last 15 decades. Not 15 decades, I mean 15 years or 2 decades almost. You understand what I'm saying? Probably, maybe even a little bit more than that, you know, when they started to get more and more mechanized. But where was the conversation about that? The Democrats don't care about none of that. And the Chinese infrastructure and all of our different departments of energy and in the trucking fields and in the shipping lanes and in everything. Can we have these conversations? Where are the majority of the ships built? Okay, can we have that conversation? Where is all of our electric infrastructure built? Can we have that conversation? If a transformer blows, it takes us about 8 to 12 weeks easy. That's on a fast way to get another one from China. But really, it can take even longer than that, because most of the time they're shipped from China over here. Why are we not making them here? But where are the Democrats on this? You care about the working man. You care about the trade unionists. Daggone lies. Daggone lies. Sound just like the Nazis, okay? Oh, they cared about everybody until they didn't care about everybody. And I'm specifically talking about the more leftist type of organizations, okay? Specifically the trade unionists, right? But we can't have that conversation because ideology matters. Ideology really matters. Hit the like, drop a comment. You drop a comment, I'll do my best to pop it up on the screen. Make sure that you share this video. It's so crucial that we share the videos with other people to help kick the algorithm to get it out so that more people see it and more people can take part in the conversation. Drop a comment and please do donate. We're trying to work to raise $50 to $100 per episode. You can donate on Cash App. That's $MW Real, the number one. Okay, $MW Real 1, or you can do Venmo or PayPal, and that's at Marcus C. Williams. So as we continue this conversation, let's be real. What policies are being put in place by the Democrats that are good for the average everyday person? I see none. Now Trump is president, right? Some people love Trump, some people hate Trump. But it seems like the people that hate Trump hate him for vaporous, non-present, non-tangible things that are thoughts in their heads that aren't actually actions. You understand what I'm saying? Now, I'll put you in. I'll put this in your thought cap. So when President Clinton was president, he worked to trim the government deeply, deep cuts. I can't even remember how many people he fired from the government, but I think it was either over 40,000, and I think it might have even ended up being 400,000 at the end of the time. So it was, but he made massive cuts because he promised everybody he would streamline the government, and that was a whole big kick. Now, Clinton was a Democrat, right? So now Trump's in here and he's talking about we need to streamline the government, and y'all mad at him for firing a couple of people? Clinton did it. Isn't Clinton your beloved? You understand what I'm saying? Like, is that not a thing we can talk about? Can we not have those conversations? Are we not being real here? You know? And then, Trump changed the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. And so what? I don't live in Mexico. I don't care about Mexico. No offense to Mexico. They got a president, Shannon Baum or whatever her name is, that killed 133 other people that were running for the president so she could be president because she's probably working for the cartels, but we can't even have that conversation either. How 130 something candidates that we know about get assassinated running for president and some lady get in there, okay, and all of a sudden she's the bee's knees. Get out of town. Don't play in my face. If she wasn't put in there by the cartel, she was put in there by the Chinese, okay? This is very real and very, very serious, but don't nobody want to have a conversation. But again, like I said, her priority is Mexico, not ours. And I don't give a flying monkey's uncle about the Gulf of Mexico. Don't mean none to me. The Gulf of America, Gulf of America, Gulf of America, okay? I said what I said. And why these people in America out here talking about, the Mexicans, go to Mexico. Oh, wait, you can't go to Mexico because Mexico is kicking the Americans out of Mexico, because they said that the Mexicans are having to deal with high inflation because the Americans are coming in there and it's increasing the prices of goods. Huh? Oh, but it's okay for us to take everybody in our country, right? But Mexico don't want no Americans. And then Mexico was freezing bank accounts. This was before Trump was even in office. So you can go look this up. Look, don't believe me because I'm saying it. Believe me because I'm telling you. Go look it up, okay? Mexico was freezing American bank accounts of people that were living in Mexico and seizing their bank accounts. Okay, this happened during the Biden administration. Go look it up. But we can't have that conversation. These people are not serious. They're out here waving Palestine flags, waving Ukraine flags, waving Mexican flags. Go to Palestine. Go to Ukraine. Go to Mexico. Ain't nobody holding you here. Nobody is holding you here. Okay? Well, you don't like it here. Go over there. I'll be happy to pay for a C-14 or whatever the jumbo jet is now, because they upgraded it. I forget the model number. Maybe it's a 130 or whatever it is right now for the military. And we'll just para-drop your behind out there. You understand what I'm saying? Ain't nobody got no time for that. You hate America so much, get out. I saw somebody complain on the internet the other day. They're like, oh, I hate America so much, but I can't go anywhere because it's expensive and there are rules to get into other countries and they don't want us in their country. And because I had to follow the rules to get there. Go hop the freaking border. Go hop the border. Y'all didn't want us to have rules to get into this country, but you mad because they got rules to get into other country. You mad now. All of a sudden, you mad. Come on now. Don't play in my space. Don't do that. Don't do that. Please don't do that. Lord have mercy. If you guys are following us online, please drop a comment, even if it's just a heart or an American flag. I love the American flag. Drop those in there, show your patriotism, okay? And definitely hit the like and the share button so we can get this conversation out to more people. We need to be having these conversations that are important and getting into people's ears and letting them have the conversations that they need to hear. So we got all these people over here talking about, oh, I support this country, I support that country, I'm American, bro. I don't got no other country. I support America. Okay, I don't care about, no offense to anybody that's from any other country. I could care less. 90% of the countries in the world could literally fall off the map tomorrow, and it would not be a concern of mine. Do you know why? Because I don't live in them. And I support anybody that lives in their country that feels very strongly about their country and that's patriotic for their country. I saw a video of this guy from Nigeria. He's in Nigeria. He lives in Nigeria. He's from Nigeria. He's of Nigeria. Okay. And he said, you know, a lot of y'all got a lot of nerve to have Nigerian flags in your what do you call those? The bios on like Twitter and TikTok and Facebook and stuff. He said, y'all got a lot of nerve to have the Nigerian flag in your bios and stuff, but y'all don't want to come over here. Y'all so proud about Nigeria, but y'all not over here. Why don't you come over here if you really care and you really so proud? Come over here. Come back and struggle with us. And that's the problem. That's the whole same issue with all these people. Oh, Ukraine. Go over there. Go over there. They need people. They need bodies. You understand what I'm saying? They need warm bodies. You got a warm body, they will take you. Okay? It's a shame what's going on in Ukraine. Zelensky, where is that money? Why didn't you give it to your people? And y'all out here having nightclub raves and parties and everything. The Ukrainian people ain't getting none of that money. They out there struggling hard. Then the U.S. is paying for the pensions of the government employees in Ukraine, and we got issues with the pensions in America. Are you serious playing in my face? Come on now. Don't even get me started. Then he got the nerve to come over here talking about, oh, well, and he doubled down on it too. I just saw another video, okay, saying, oh, well, it's going to be U.S.'s problem. Russia ain't no problem for the U.S. Russia ain't never been a real problem for the U.S. Russia thought that they could be a problem for the U.S., and then they quickly realized that they couldn't even be a problem, that the only problem that they was a problem to their daggone self. And that's how they collapsed. Okay? Because they tried to do so much socialism. Okay? Remember, it was the USSR, okay? The United Soviet Socialist States, okay? Are we serious right now? They were socialists, you guys. I thought you loved socialism so much. How don't you love them? But you out there talking about you're a socialist and you don't love Russia? How? They were socialists when they were our enemies. Then they stopped being socialists. And now you want them to be our enemies? But you say that they've always been our enemies, but when they were our enemies, they were socialists. And you're a socialist. Does it work? Does it go in? Somehow it doesn't connect. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't quite, what? Like make it make sense. And that's not me speaking up for Russia, because I could give a flying monkey's uncle about anybody else that is not the U.S. Okay? But there's some very, very key aspects of this situation in Ukraine that we need to have a conversation about, and that's where is our American dollars, tax dollars going? And they're enriching Zelensky and his wife. They got 10 plus mansions. Okay. His wife goes on all of these crazy holiday spending sprees. She's at Fashion Week in Paris and all of this nonsense. And y'all talking about, oh, but we should side with Ukraine. Fine. You want to side with Ukraine? Zelensky need to be somewhere. Okay. Else. And I got a couple of thoughts on where he could be. Okay. Prison. You understand what I'm saying? For what he's done to the Ukrainian people. Okay. I remember when the news was first there, when the whole thing first broke out in Ukraine. And they had the news people over there, and they were forcing the news people to stop shooting the news in Ukraine because the Ukrainian soldiers were executing in the street like dogs the actual Ukrainian people, the men that did not want to get conscripted to fight. He did that. Zelensky did that. And you want me to support that insanity? Absolutely not. That's what he did to his own people. Then again, because we're talking about the start of the war, we're just talking about the start, right? We're not even talking about now. I got more to talk about now. But if we talk about the start of the war, they blocked off all of the exits to the country. So people that wanted to flee from the death and destruction in the country could not get out of the country. He did that to his own people. He stopped them from leaving Kiev. He wouldn't let anybody out of Kiev. And he said out of his mouth and his minister of war, this is documented. I'm not making this up. You can't make this up. Believe me, because don't believe me because I'm saying it. Believe me because I'm telling you. Go look it up. And he said that he made sure that they closed the borders because they did not want the Russians to just roll up into their country. So he figured that he would use his own people as cannon fodder, as martyrs, okay, so that Russia wouldn't take over. How dare you? And you're going to tell me that the Russians are bad. That sounds like the same thing that the Russians did in Kaliningrad. Okay, if y'all guys know history and stuff like that. You understand what I'm saying? If you know World War II history, stuff like that, and the history of the Soviet Union and stuff that they did during World War II, and crazy. This is the conversation that we need to be having, but don't nobody want to have the serious conversation because everybody's so teamed up, bro. I love my Ukrainian friends. Many of them are male, right? I have some females friends that are Ukrainian, but many of them are male, and they're like, I don't want to go over there. I don't want to go over there, and I don't want to fight in that. Okay, so everybody that's so pro-Ukrainian, go over there. Go, bro. Go. If you really, really care. If I care that much, I'd be over there. I don't care that much. Okay, I don't. If I was living abroad and I was an expat, okay, and I was living in another country and somebody attacked America, I'd be back the next day. They wouldn't have been able to stop me from coming back to America if somebody was attacking America. Okay. They wouldn't be able to stop me. Y'all care so much about Ukraine. Go back, bro. And most of the people that care so much, oh, we should get them money. We should get them money. Well, where's the money going? I see all of these Ukrainians raising funds for their people. Please support them when you see them raising funds for things like medical supplies and blankets and stuff like that, if you can, right? Like I prioritize American people first, support our people first. But if they are raising funds for actual medical supplies and clothes and stuff like that, they need that in Ukraine. Do you know why they need that in Ukraine? Because Zelensky is getting billions of dollars and ain't none of it going to the people. Man, don't get me started, man. I can't stand these elected officials supposed to be representing their people and they drag them like dogs. I don't like it. Okay, hold on one second. We got some comments coming in here. I'm gonna read these comments. Let's see. Who's this? Lorena K. Love. Oh, you love me. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for that. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate all of our viewers and all of Team Marcus members. I support you. I love you guys so much. If you guys are watching right now, please, or on the radio, please donate. We're working to raise $50 to $100 an episode so we can get more airtime, so we can work on saving up for better camera equipment, so we can get some more stuff, so we can actually spread the message even further and have the more important conversations that are needed. You can donate on Cash App, $MW Real, the number one. That's $MW Real 1. You can also do donations on Venmo and PayPal, and that's at Marcus C. Williams. We even have givesendgo.com/Marcus C. Williams. So please donate. And if you donate, drop a comment and I'll do my best to pop it up on the screen and encourage others to match your donation. All right, let's see. Dave, what we got here? Dave says, Marcus singing Prison is the funniest thing I've heard all day. Thank you, Dave. I appreciate you. Okay. Lorena says, they both are not to be trusted. You're right. We can't trust either of them. They both have their own personal interests at heart, but they also, I'd hope that Zelensky has his own country's interests at heart, but I don't even think that that's necessarily true. But he's clearly got other interests at heart, and it ain't that. But like you said, Putin, he's got his own interests. He is his own interest, his country's interest. I can't be mad at that. I got my country's interest in my heart. Okay, I should hope that everybody has their own country's best interest, but more so the people of their actual country, okay, than the bureaucracy. And that's something that we can't have a conversation about because they don't want you to have a conversation. Lorena says, libtards are worried about more Ukraine than the problems in Rochester. My Ukrainian friends say Zelensky is a crook. He is a crook, though. He is a crook. So he's, again, like I just said, if you see these Ukrainians raising money for medical aid and they want you to drop off some medical aid or they want you to drop off some clothes and stuff like that, while I encourage you to donate it first to something like the Salvation Army or something like that, that is here locally, that's doing the work here locally in our community, they do need that stuff in Ukraine. But the question is why we send them all these billions of dollars? Where's the money? Again, Zelensky isn't putting the money to the people. It's that simple. It's not complicated. It's a serious problem. And we need to have that conversation, but the conversation is so convoluted right now. If you don't support Ukraine, you don't support, I don't even know. I don't even know what it is this week that we don't support if you don't support Ukraine. Well, I'm supporting another country. The only country I support is the United States of America. And if you support another country or if you have dual loyalty to another country, you should not be in the United States of America, period. Full stop. Full stop. If you have dual loyalties to another country, you should not be in the United States of America. Full stop. Period. End of story. There is no further conversation on that matter. I encourage you guys, hit the like, hit the share, and you are listening to The Divide on The Divide with Marcus C. Williams on WRFZ 106.3 Rochester Free Radio, kicking in your ear what you need to hear. Let's keep going on with this conversation because it's real serious. So Zelensky got into the office, into the Oval Office, and people were like, "Oh my God, Trump was mean to him." So didn't we give him all this money? Are you serious? And you out here doing photo shoots with Vogue, with Time Magazine, at the Paris Fashion Week, at all of these things, at the Oscars, at the Academy Awards. Oh, you don't sound like you at war, bro. You sound like you're trying to win a popularity contest and you are the biggest, most popular actor in the world. He is an actor, though. He's a clown actor. Like, he's a comedic actor. Like, that's what he was before he was president, which people seem to forget. Okay? And I'm not going to sit here and let a clown play America. You know? And they're like, oh, well, he's like, he got in there and he's like, oh, well, if America doesn't support us, they'll feel it over here. No, we won't. No, we won't. And Trump set him straight. He said, no. Don't say that. Because it sounds like a threat to me. It sounds like a threat. It sounded like after all the money that we gave him, after everything that was going on, he wants American troops to roll up in Ukraine and take over Ukraine and make Ukraine a part of the United States, which I'm not opposed to annexing any country in the whole planet. Okay? I am not opposed to annexing any country. If you guys follow me, I am completely in support of annexing Belize. I believe we should buy Belize because it would give us a good strategic point right at the horn right there. And the majority of the people in the Belize, they speak English, and we can actually use that as not only a military base and training facility, we can also use it as an access point to shipping in the area, and we can also use it for actual immigration situations. So I do support that. The Philippines, I keep saying, Philippines, you guys, I love you guys. Please come home. We didn't treat you right the first time, but we'll treat you right this time. Promise. We'll even give you full statehood. Philippines, come back to the United States. You know we love you. You love us. Let's make it official. Okay, come back home. Okay. If you guys don't know the story of what happened in the Philippines, it's pretty raw. We controlled the Philippines for some time. The Philippines was part of America, but we didn't do them the most right that we should have. And so we don't control the Philippines anymore, which is a problem. And we should. Okay. And we should bring them back home into the fold. Very nice like. Okay. I also support annexing, annexing Greenland. Why not? Love Greenland. Lots of minerals, lots of coal, good place in the Arctic area to give us more space to maneuver up there and lots of minerals that we need. Okay. All of that. All of that. You know, it's not like it's a bad thing, but if you want our money, you should become part of our country. And I don't believe that United States citizens troops should be in any country fighting for no country unless they about to roll up off of some territory. And if I was president, okay, I'd change the Department of State back to the Department of War, and I'd allow our troops to take spoils of war. How dare you send our troops over to other countries and then tell them that they can't take what they can carry? They should be able to take everything that they can carry and then some. Unacceptable. They don't treat our troops right when they get home, and you won't let them take spoils of war. That's unacceptable. We're not playing them types of games. But I digress. Back to this whole situation with Ukraine. Zelensky came here and was popping off his mouth. I'm not a big fan of JD Vance, and if you guys have been following me for some time, I do believe very firmly that he is a technocrat and he is not to be trusted. I don't know what's up with him, but I can't put my finger on it. Something ain't right about him. And it's the same thing with Elon Musk and the rest of them too. I know a lot of y'all love these guys, but I'm telling you, it's not right. And they're trying to push technocracy and create a level right above the middle class that prevents the middle class from being able to be upwardly mobile. And I'm telling you right now, from my lips to your ears, that that is exactly what's happening and what's developing. And these leftists, crazy leftists that are all anti-Musk and all of this other nonsense, they're ridiculous, okay? Because y'all against Musk, and I ain't heard one of them make a reasonable case. Like I just said, I am not a fan, but I am a fan of Tesla. I was a fan of Solar City. I'm a fan of the Boring Company. I'm a fan of SpaceX. I'm a fan of a lot of his work. Okay, but it doesn't mean that I don't see what he's doing, and I'm not a fan of Neuralink. That is a bad juju, y'all. That is super, super bad. You don't put computers in people's heads. You're trying to make androids and stuff like that. What do you call it? Not androids, cyborgs. Okay, it's not good. It's very, very bad, the direction that we're going with that. But anyway, not the biggest fan of JD Vance, but he did the daggone thing. JD Vance did the daggone thing and supported the president really well the other night. And I'm like, man, maybe I got to reconsider this guy. Maybe he is not half bad. And then I thought again, I was like, nah, usually my first impressions are right on the spot. I don't think they've ever been wrong yet. But so he stopped Trump from jumping down that man's throat. Because if you would have saw, and I know the majority of people didn't watch the whole video. It was like 40 something minutes. Okay. And I encourage you to watch the whole video. Okay. And then listen to Zelensky on Fox News. I don't watch Fox, so I had to pull it up online. He did a whole interview, which was another 30 minutes. But you got to watch the whole thing to put it in context, to understand exactly what happened, because they show little clips and little snips, and it doesn't do it justice. Okay. Zelensky was supposed to be there to sign a mineral rights deal, and he did not want to do that because he had previously met with Democrat officials, and the Democrat officials, Democrats, here we go, these Democrats again, Democrats officials were like, oh, don't do that. Don't sign that with him. Are you serious, Democrats? You working against the best interests of the United States of America? Treason, prison, all of that. What's that meme say online? Jail right away. You understand what I'm saying? Like, these Democrats met with Zelensky before he met with President Trump and told Zelensky not to sign the minerals deal that would help America. They're working actively against the American people. That's you, that's me, that's everybody here. Are you serious? You know good and well we need those minerals to increase production of not just energy production, but of all of the things that we love, all of the electronics, all of these new computers, all of these new gadgets, all of these new things, the chips. Well, not all of them are little, some of them are really big. The chips, I don't know, the computer chips. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Not just the IC chips, the other ones. You know what I'm talking about. But all of that, we need all of that, and we need more minerals to do that. And Trump was bold enough to come out of his mouth and say, yeah, we need these rare earth minerals. That's why we're making this deal with you. You got something that we can use that'll give us some payback from what the money that we gave you, but also because we'll have people working there. And now it's America's best interest. We will protect our interests. And we do that really good. We do that really good. That's what happened in Hawaii. If you guys know the history of Hawaii, that's how Hawaii became a state. The U.S. protecting its interests, specifically private corporations. Okay, look up the Banana Wars also. Okay, look into that. That's crazy. Okay, America protects its interests. Okay, look up what happened to Noriega. America protects its interests. Okay, look at what happened to Gaddafi. America protects its interests. Okay, are you serious? Like, we protect our interests, but you don't want. Man, listen, don't get me started. We got a couple comments. Let's read some of these comments. Shalane Davis says you should watch Fox. You know, years ago, I used to watch Fox Business. I never watched Fox properly, except like the regular local station. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes for TV because I like some of their programming. But I don't really watch Fox because I'm not a big fan of the Murdochs. Okay, the Murdochs are one of the ruling families under the in the elite class, but under the super elite class. And I don't pump with none of them. Okay, I don't pump with none of them because of the messaging, and it's all co-opted, it's all corroborated. What do they call it? Controlled opposition. You understand what I'm saying? That's all that it is. It's not for the people. I like things like OAN, RSBN. I like those people. My current favorite probably is NTD. I do like them. They're starting to lean a little bit left. I'm not so fond of that. They've always been more moderate center. But they're starting to lean a little bit left. I don't like that. And if you guys are watching from NTD, I love all of you. You know I really do. But y'all got to cut that nonsense out. Let's see what else you got. Another comment. Shalene says, "No more Democrats from no more demon acts from Democrats." Shalane, can I put that on a shirt? Yo, that's a good one. I like that. I like that a lot. That is a really, really good one. Said no more demon acts from Democrats. So now, if you guys are watching or tuning in on the radio, I'm not slamming Democrats if you are a registered Democrat, right? Again, going back to the beginning of the show, it's not about whether you're a registered Democrat or not. It's about the Democrat politicians. The Democrat politicians, their policies, and how they tell you that they're for you, but they actually are not. And you can see it in their policies and the way the policies are implemented. If you're watching and tuning in right now, please hit like, hit share, get this message out to more people. Drop a comment. I'll do my best to pop up the comment on the screen and talk about it on air. If you're hitting that heart button, hit the heart button, hit the like, do a little heart, okay? Drop a flag in the comments, okay? Everything that you do helps kick the algorithm to get it out to more people. I appreciate it if you guys would share it and get it out to more people. Every share matters. And remember, you guys, we're working to raise $50 to $100 an episode. Please do donate and support the show so we can get more airtime and start to save up for better camera equipment and stuff like that, and audio equipment. We really need better audio equipment, but that's a separate conversation, but still part of the same conversation. That's why we're raising funds. So $MW Real One. That's $MW Real One is the Cash App. You can do givesendgo.com/Marcus C. Williams, or you can do PayPal and Venmo. We've got both PayPal and Venmo, and that's at Marcus C. Williams. Please go donate. Now, as we continue this serious conversation, Trump just made English the national language. Okay. Now, if you guys know me and you follow me for some time, I'm no sycophant. But the sycophant is somebody that's basically what you would consider a bootlicker or a yes man or something like that. That's not me. Okay. When I see something, I don't care who it is. I don't care what the party is. I got to say it. I already told y'all how I really felt about some of those other people who are clearly Republicans. You understand what I'm saying? Even in high places. So I have no problem with talking about exactly what it is and what's going on. So, but with that type of a situation, we need people to start standing firm. And there are no actual Democrat people, like not the elected officials, the people. Where are the Democrats holding the Democrats accountable, right? Like the elected politician Democrats, many times they run on I'm for accountability. What accountability? I file a Freedom of Information Act. You talk about you deny my Freedom of Information Act. Where's the accountability? Y'all dismantled the Office of Ethics in the city of Rochester. I'm talking about specific. The Democrats dismantled the Office of Ethics. For 65 years, the Democrats have run my city completely through and through. City council, all Democrats have been for 65. No, that's not true. 67 years. 67 years. Okay. Everybody on school board, 67 years it's been Republican. I mean, it's been Democrat. Democrats have owned every single seat for the past 67 years in the city of Rochester, basically. Or excuse me, 57, not 67. Sorry, they've been in they've had the majority in the state assembly for 67 years. 57 years they've controlled all of the city of Rochester. City council, mayor's office, city court judge, school board, all of them. All of them are Democrats. But everything keeps getting worse in Rochester, you guys. If you're a registered Democrat, you got to see what's going on. And I want you to know, if you're a Democrat or independent, in November, you can vote Republican and you don't even have to change your party, right? You don't have to change your party in November in the general election. You can vote Republican. Whether you're Democrat or independent in November, vote Republican. You don't even have to change your party. And that's the message that I want everybody that's watching. I want you to take that message. I want you to carry it out to the street. I want you to carry it out to your friends. I want you to carry it out to your family. Okay, that needs to be the only message from now until election day that Republicans are putting out there. If you're Democrat or independent, you can vote Republican without even having to change your party. And people will say, well, Marcus, but everybody knows that. No, they don't. No, they don't. No, they don't. The vast majority of people do not know that. And you're like, but I know that, so everybody else must. Absolutely not. Absolutely, they don't. They do not. I promise you, they do not. Okay. And that is a very serious thing. But we can change what's going on here in my county. We can change what's going on in my city. And we're going to work hard to actually make that happen. We've got a candidate that's running for mayor. That's a Republican that's getting ready to announce. We got two candidates running for city council. Myself and Jake Bishop is running for city council. Okay. And I encourage you guys, if you want to donate to my campaign, you don't even have to be local. I'd also encourage you to volunteer to my campaign. And you can do that on my website, Marcus4Rochester.com. That's Marcus4Rochester.com. But the point is even though it's an uphill battle, many of the Democrats that live here that are registered Democrats see what's going on and they don't like it. They don't like it. So we're offering them an opportunity to actually vote for somebody that's willing to represent them. Not necessarily in their party, but somebody that's really willing to represent them and the needs and the concerns of the community. And that's where it matters, on the local level, because again, like I said in the beginning, many people, they focus far, far, far too much on the federal level. We got to return the focus home. We got to return to our cities, our towns. We got to make sure that we're focusing on things. If you guys want to get involved, please do get involved locally. Get involved locally, even if you don't live in Rochester. Go to your local town board meetings, city council meetings, school board meetings, fire district meetings, whatever. Okay, just get involved and make sure that you start to see and understand what's going on and how the mechanics of politics work where you are to impact the change that you actually want to see and who's actually able to create that change. It's very, very important. So I encourage you on that. If you guys are watching, hit like, share, and subscribe. Drop a comment, and I'll do my best to pop it up on the screen and talk about it on air. It's very, very frustrating that I see all this insanity from the Democrat Party. It's so disgusting. It makes me want to spit. It really does. I just had to spit because I can't deal. It's like very frustrating. We have a situation where these people play in our face and tell us that they represent us. Like I said, the thing with Zelensky, they told Zelensky not to sign the mineral deal with the president. Are you serious? Because for them, it's all about politics. It's not about the American people. They don't care about you. They don't care about me. They don't care about whether you're registered Democrat or not. They don't care about whether you're registered Republican or not. They just want to continue to sow tumultuousness and fear and dissension because they know that if they can keep us unstable and unstable, then they can remain in control. It's easier to control somebody when they are filled with terror. And that's exactly what we're witnessing right now. exactly what we're witnessing. We deserve better. But the question is, how do we get better if we don't have people that are willing to stand up? That's the big deal. People have to start standing up. And if you are not the type of person to stand up yourself, support somebody else that will. Okay? There are many candidates that I know, and it's starting to be in New York State, it's petition time. So in New York State, you have to collect signatures to get on the ballot to run for office. So if you see somebody that's running for office, you like what they're doing, support them, donate, volunteer. You understand what I'm saying? If you live in New York State or in South Carolina or Florida or Texas or California or wherever, support them. Okay? Sometimes it can be as simple as volunteering to make some phone calls or knock some doors to help collect signatures. These are important things that we need that are part of the working mechanisms of our actual republic that we live in. Because it is a republic. It's not a democracy. That's not what our founders envisioned. Democracy isn't anywhere to be found in our Constitution or in the Constitution of any of the states. We are a republic. Okay? It's very, very important. That's another lie. One of the greatest lies that they tell in America is that we are a democracy. We are not now. We have never been. And the founders were adamant about us not being a democracy. They're like, absolutely not. That's the exact opposite of what we want. Because democracies always turn completely corrupt and they lead towards tyranny. That's very, very key. So we can actually really make a difference when we do vote and we do elect people, when we do help candidates and stuff like that. But it doesn't stop there. That's where it starts. It goes into holding them accountable when they are in office, right? It goes to holding them accountable when they're in office. But where's the accountability? So many people say, oh, well, this is an issue, that is an issue. Have you spoken to your town council, your city council? Have you spoken to your county ledger, your town board? Have you spoken to your school district? You know, have you engaged your state senator or state assembly person or state house person? If you're in a different state, sometimes it's a state house instead of the state assembly. Have you engaged with those people? Kevin, I see you said something. I'll pop you up. But these are the conversations we need to have. If you are enjoying following us or don't even like following us, hit the share button regardless. And definitely hit a heart or a thumbs up or a comment or whatever. Drop a comment and I'll try to pop your comment up on the screen. Let's see what Kevin's talking about. Kevin, what you got going on today? Kevin says, according to the New York Times, there was a major crime scene in the New York City subway, starting with somebody who decided to evade the fare. 4 people were shot. The scene occurred yesterday. I didn't hear about that, but there's always something going on. There's always something going on. Why is it? Because the lawlessness is encouraged by horrible policy and laws that have been put in place by our state assembly and state senate. Now, currently, a lot of these laws can be changed or amended or fixed or repealed by our state assembly and our state senators, but they refuse to do that. So you have to ask a question. If you see all the chaos and the confusion, why wouldn't they want to fix it? Don't they say that they care? Why aren't they doing anything? And this is a very, very serious issue. And this is why accountability is so important. But so few people actually hold elected officials accountable once they're in office. They feel like, oh, well, I voted, so now my job is over. Absolutely not. That's why the First Amendment says you have the right to redress your grievances with your government. It's very important. People harp on the freedom of speech, but they forget to redress your grievances with your government part. And trust me, I use my freedom of speech very strongly because I'm always redressing my grievances with my government, okay? Especially on the local level where it matters the most. Let's see, somebody says something. Dodie says, just an FYI, I can get you here on Facebook, but not on the radio. And yes, I just donated. I appreciate you, Dodie. You might not be able to, I don't know where you are exactly. Our frequency might not reach you where you are. It has some patchy spots. and I know it doesn't go out very, very far, but if you are in the Monroe County area, closer to the city, you should be able to get it. If not, you can find us on Facebook. You can always go. If you guys right now, if you're online or on the radio, go on my YouTube channel, the Marcus C. Williams channel, and subscribe right there, because that's where you'll catch all of my videos and stuff like that. I appreciate you very, very much, Dodie. You're awesome. So if you guys want to support, please do donate. Cash App, $MW Real, the number one. That's Cash App, $MW Real 1. You can also donate via Venmo or PayPal. That's at Marcus C. Williams. And we have givesendgo.com/Marcus C. Williams as well. Now, if you want to donate to my campaign, my political campaign, that's just my website, Marcus4Rochester.com. But if you want to volunteer in your local, please do volunteer. Okay. Now, as we have these serious conversations about accountability, we see what's going on with Doge, right? Where they're finding all of these missing monies and stuff like that, or I wouldn't even say missing monies, misused monies, right? That's what's going on right now. And people are mad. They're like, oh, they're cutting jobs and stuff like that. They're doing all of this and all of that. Really? You're mad? Again, like I said earlier, Bill Clinton cut hundreds of thousands of jobs. Shrunk the government big time. And you're mad because Trump is doing it? I don't get it. Or you're mad because Elon is doing it? President Musk, you guys are calling him? I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand anybody that likes the bureaucracy. That's my big deal. Like, I don't care whether you're Democrat or Republican or whatever. You like the bureaucracy. You like the offices that give you all types of good heck when you try to get in touch with them. You like the way that they process stuff at DSS. You like the way that things go at IRS. You like the things that go on with the DMV. You like the things that go on with USAID funding condoms for people in Gaza, $50 million, Afghanistan puppet shows, and all of this other nonsense. You understand what I'm saying? Like I don't get it. What was it? What was the one thing? It was a puppet show for, I don't remember where it was. It was like a NPR type Sesame Street thing. And no, it was National Geographic. That's what it was. National Geographic, $25 million for a program that was supposed to be like something, I can't remember, something for African people or whatever the case is, right? So $25 million. And it was online. It was a digital series, mini-series. I think it was 3 episodes or something like that. And nobody watched it. Nobody watched it. Now, mind you, most of the people there in the area where they're trying to get in touch with people, they don't have phones or internet and stuff like that. Like, are you serious? Like $25 million for some webisodes? Like, what? Like, who were you hiring to be in them? Who were you hiring to be in them? Was Matthew McConaughey the voice for them? Like, what are you, what? Like, I don't, like, I'm laughing to keep from crying, you know? I don't know about then the government funds nonsense like the studying the sexual habits of Japanese quail on cocaine. Like, that's not even a joke. Like, I wish that was a joke. Like, I'm not joking. $10 million for that. Like, and you guys want to keep funding this stuff? You're mad that they're cutting these things? And then they'll say, oh, well, they're getting rid of government workers. Okay. And your point is, the government programs are draining us far more than a couple of government workers. I hate to say that. If there's $25 million for a program and somebody's making $50,000 a year, okay, if somebody's making $50,000 a year, that's a lot of $50,000 a year to go into $250 million or $25 million. You understand what I'm saying? Where is our tax money? How many administrators for these programs do they actually need? But we can't have those conversations. They got all these people working. Most of them ain't doing no type of work. I'm not mad at them. If you got it like that, take the job. You know, and of course, there are some people that do have some cuts that would probably be better still there or whatever the case is. But It comes with right-sizing the government. I hate to say that. You understand what I'm saying? I know some people going to feel some type of way, but it's the truth, bro. The government needs to be shrunk. I want a government so small that it can fit in the palm of my hand and I could crush it if I so need to. Because the government has become huge and unwieldy. Okay? The government is a huge bureaucratic monster which has its tentacles in every single pocket and purse of every single American, draining and leeching directly from them like some sort of tentacle monster. Okay? Y'all keep y'all Rule 34 behinds in order. I see y'all. I know y'all out there. Dirty minds. Y'all ain't no good. But it's real. This is real. Okay, the government is too big. We've got departments that are making rules and laws and regulations right out of the departments. Not going through Congress like it's supposed to. We have a big problem with that here in New York State. Makes me sick to my stomach. If it was up to me, I'd slash the amount of bureaucracy in New York State. You mean we really need the bureaucracy in New York State to be as big as 1/3 of the population of workers in New York State? Make it make sense. It don't make no sense. It's a serious, serious problem. We need to have a serious conversation about this. Let's see. Kevin makes a comment. Let's see what Kevin's talking about. Kevin says, it will be great if Doge will audit Monroe County DSS. I suspect more federal money went out than should have. A notable reason is the telephone issue I mentioned in the past show of yours. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on with the way that the federal money is being spent. And as you guys know, where we live in Rochester and Monroe County, we live in a sanctuary state, in a sanctuary county, and in a sanctuary city. I don't know if we're going to see any federal money. And I got to be honest, I don't know if we should. I know that sounds bad and it sounds crazy, but the act ain't right here. You understand what I'm saying? Running for city council, when elected, that's going to be one of the first things that I pull back. Why? My job is to represent the citizens, not illegal aliens. That's not your job. What's wrong with you fools? You understand what I'm saying? I said exactly what I said. Okay, they're either fools or they're monsters. You pick one, but they got to be one or the other, because it's either intentional or it's either because they have in their mind that, oh, it's the righteous thing to do, and they really believe that. So it's only one of the two. They're doing it intentionally because they benefit, or because somebody else told them that they need to, or because they really believe. It's only one of the two options. I mean, it could be a third option, which is that they're just cockamamie crazy or don't care, which kind of goes hand in hand in this situation, because how can you not care? This is really serious. So as we have these serious conversations, I encourage you, remind people to share this video, hit the like button, and drop a comment, and I'll do my best to pop the comments up on the screen. Everybody watching right now, I see you guys all watching. I need 5 of you to share this right now. Take 2 seconds and hit share. Hit the share button, hit the retweet button. It's not going to cost you anything. It's not going to give you a hard time. Just hit that share button, hit that retweet button real quick and get the message out to some more people. Just 5. I just need 5 of you guys. Hit that share button, okay? Or share it to a group. That's even better. Do both. Share it to your page and share it to a group or a community, So as we have these conversations, I want to get back to the situation with Ukraine, because one of the most important things, and if you guys have been following me for a while, I know some of you guys are new here, but if you've been following me for a while, since before the Ukraine war happened, I was talking about how China was all up and down through Ukraine. China had a large portion of the rights for the agricultural rights in Ukraine. Ukraine is the breadbasket of Europe. They have some of the most fertile land that you can find anywhere. Okay. China had large rights to that. China had lots of mineral rights. So now all of a sudden, They say, oh, well, we're not going to do a mineral rights deal with the US, and now we're doing a mineral rights deal with China. Well, I told everybody from the beginning out the gate that this whole thing was about China, that it's never really been about Ukraine. That was always a misnomer. The whole point of this whole war was to weaken Russia. Like, I don't know if you guys see it now or yet, or whatever the case is. And Ukraine was just a pawn. They were trying to weaken Russia. That's why they toppled the democratically elected, okay, Ukrainian president and installed Zelensky in there. You know, it was a coup. The US participated in a coup against the previous leader of Ukraine to install Zelensky in there, but we can't have that conversation. But to that specific note, this was about China. Okay, it's always been about China because China openly says that they are going to take over and control the world. They openly say this, they admit to this. This is not only something that they just say, it's something they're actively working on doing. Like, and they're well on their way with their plans. They wanted to make Russia weaker because it would be better for China, because China can take more of Russian territory. Okay, they've already threatened Russian territory on the east. Okay, and saying that historically it's been there. China says it's nonsense all the time. Historically, it was part of China. No, it wasn't. You're lying. You're lying. Okay, stop lying. Okay, they do this all the time. Okay, Vietnam and the rest of them better watch out because historically it was part of China. It's not, but they lying. You know what I'm saying? And that's how they operate. So we need to be mindful that China will use any which way that they can to work on stomping down and eliminating any possible threats that they can see. This was a twofer for them. It can weaken the US by siphoning money away from them, and it can weaken Russia by taking troops from them and hurting their position in the world, because previous to this, Russia was in a much better position to combat China. But that's not even a conversation that we're having. We need Russia to fight China, period. End of story. We need that, okay? We need that because I don't want any of our people to have to fight China. But it's coming up faster and faster and faster. But we got the nerve to be over fermenting a war in Ukraine. And who benefits? Does the US benefit? No. Does Europe benefit? No. Only person that benefits is China. Only person that benefits is China. But we can't actually have that serious conversation. And we need to desperately. China is the biggest threat that not just the US, but the world has ever seen. And people don't even fathom how serious it is with China, because China really be about that life. And most people are not about that life. So they can't even fathom that China will work two enemies against each other and a third nation, because what does it do? It weakens European Union, it weakens the United States, and it weakens Russia, who are China's biggest enemies. You understand what I'm saying? All of those. Plus, it puts them all in a situation where they need to become more dependent on China. And if you're more dependent on somebody, you're more easily subjugated to that individual, specifically in this case, China. And we need to have these real serious conversations. But a lot of people don't want to have those conversations. So back to the Zelensky thing and the Democrats meeting with Zelensky before he met with Trump, talking about don't sign that mineral deal. They are a tool of the Chinese Communist Party. I'm going to say it again. Those Democrats that met with Zelensky and told him not to sign the minerals deal with the United States of America are a tool of the Chinese Communist Party. They are Chinese assets and they should be charged with treason. And I stand on that. Period. You understand? This is real, and this is the type of conversation that we're not able to have, okay? Because people don't want to, they don't think on that level, they don't see on that level. China is the most monstrous entity that exists on this planet right now as far as a nation goes, and a threat to America. There is no bigger threat. Russia ain't no threat. Ukraine was like, oh, well, Russia will come over. Russia ain't coming nowhere. Russia don't want this smoke. They can't even hold their own land. That's what the whole war for them is about in NATO. They don't want, I mean, in Ukraine, they don't want NATO in Ukraine because then they'd have the European Union will be able to just shoot directly missiles at Moscow, at the Kremlin, in what do you call it? What's the other one? In St. Petersburg, and just decimate all of Russia. Because most of their people are like, I think it's what, less than 250 miles from the border with Europe. Like it's not even like, like it's serious, you guys. Like people don't see it because they don't have a concept of how close the nations are and how serious the history is. This is bad, bad. This is bad, bad. And the question is what happens with Russia if they really feel some type of way? They go bing, bang, boom, okay? And they unleash nukes. What then? What then? Who benefits if Russia releases nukes? Is it the US? No. Is it Europe? No. Is it Russia? No. It's China. At the end of the day, it all goes back to China. You got to wake up. And then people are like, oh, well, China is not that bad or whatever. Are you serious? Let me give you an example. Go look this up. Go look this up. I cannot emphasize this as much as I really want to. Like, this is the level of insanity of stuff that China does, and then it doesn't even get talked about. Okay. Don't believe me because I'm saying it. Believe me because I'm telling you. Okay. And go look it up. China kidnapped the head of Interpol. What's Interpol? Interpol is like the FBI, but for the European Union. Okay. So they kidnapped the head of Interpol. Interpol runs all types of international investigations. They're called the International Police Organization. That's why they're called Interpol. Okay. The head of Interpol was kidnapped. Let me say that again. The head of Interpol, the top police person in Europe, was kidnapped by China. I feel like we need to say that again so you can understand. The top police person in Europe was kidnapped by the country China and the CCP. Then they replaced him with their own person. Okay. What? China replaced the head of the European police people with their own person? Yes, they did that. This was a couple years ago. Go look it up. Like, China is playing the super long game. Their strategy is on level 1000. And people out here talking about, oh, I'm not going to buy a Tesla car because I'm mad at Elon Musk. Shut up. Shut up. There's much more serious things at hand. And you can't even see it. Much more serious things. China is the biggest threat to anyone and everyone that is not Chinese and that is not from China on the planet. On the planet. It's so serious. And they're manipulating everyone and everything. They manipulated us with COVID. You probably don't remember when the Evergreen ship got stuck in the Suez Canal and we couldn't get any shipping through there, and it crushed our our trade network, essentially, our goods transportation and everything, and we couldn't get nothing through for like 4 or 5 weeks or something like that. I think it ended up being like 2-3 months that it was stuck like that. Okay, or maybe it was a little shorter, but it was forever. It didn't even matter because it put all of our shipping out months and months and months, devastated our economy, devastated our ability to make goods and sell goods in the US, but we can't even talk about that. And I'm telling you right now, that was intentional, because when was it? That was during COVID. That was to put a strain. That was to put a hurt on the United States. That was a whammy jammy, but not just us. It also hurt other countries because that benefited China. It's real serious. It's real serious. And I know that most people don't know these things. That's why I do my best to get them out on the show and stuff like that. So I encourage you, please donate. Okay. $ MW Real 1 on Cash App. That's $ MW Real, the digit 1 on Cash App, or on Venmo and PayPal. You can do at Marcus C. Williams. We also have givesendgo.com/Marcus C. Williams. Please donate. Do what you can, whether it's $10, $25, $50, $100. We're trying to raise about $100 an episode so that we can get more airtime and start saving for better equipment, better cameras, better microphones, stuff like that. So as we continue these very, very important conversations, conceptually, it's hard for people to understand global and international politics unless you really, really, really immerse yourself in it. Okay? It's hard to understand the grandeur and severity of politics on the US side if you do not actually watch the committee hearings for the House of Representatives. If you don't watch the committee hearings for the United States Senate, if you don't watch them, then you don't really know what's going on. But people swear that they know what's going on because the news said this or the TV said that, or because what's her name? What's the crazy lady? Rachel Maddow. Rachel Maddow said this, or because the talking heads on Fox said that. Okay, or what's his name? The Vanderbilt guy, what's his name? Anderson Cooper, or Anderson Cooper said this, or I saw what's his name? Ken Steele on the TV, and he said that. Piece of trash. I said what I said. Piece of trash. He used to be the chairman of the RNC. That piece of garbage is such a piece of garbage. I got lots of things to say that aren't so nice as me calling him a piece of garbage. Okay, and I used to think that he was okay. I really used to think that maybe he was decent, but that was a lie. That was a lie. But that was when I first started to get involved in politics. Okay, that's one of the things I also want to impart on you. Okay, everybody that makes an appearance that they are us is not for us, and that is a statement to Republicans. That is a statement to conservatives. That is a statement to Black Americans. Okay, you really need to look at these people who say that they represent you and see what their policies are and see what they're really doing and find out if they really do support the things that are impacting you in a positive way. That's the most important part of all of it. All of it. So we got a whole bunch of stuff going on right now all across the world. And that's why I encourage you guys, get active locally. Go join your local committee. Okay, whether you're Republican or Democrat, go join your local committee. Get involved. Get involved, get involved, get involved. That's the only way to make a real change and to start to make a real difference. We've got a couple more minutes here, and I want to talk about a few more things before we get out of here. One of the things that we got going on, oh, let me see, we got a message here. One of the things that we got going on international like is we've got other stuff with other countries, right? Like you would think, say, oh, well, we've just talked with England and stuff like that, and we've got stuff with India and stuff like that. We talked to all these other countries, and now England and Europe is like, oh, well, we're going to fund Ukraine even more. Okay, cool. We're going to put troops in Ukraine. Okay, cool. We're going to let Ukraine join NATO. No, 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 no. And I'll tell you why. And I know a lot of people like, but they should. No. Zelensky got on some channel, I can't remember what it was, and said that if they get into NATO, then the U.S. will be forced to put American troops into Ukraine to fight Russia. Absolutely not. Not one U.S. child, not one U.S. body should be going to Ukraine to die, shall not be sent by the government. Okay? Absolutely not. Okay? I don't care if they do join NATO. If they join NATO, we need to pull out of NATO. Okay? That's a fact. NATO has overlived its usefulness, and we should have dissolved it the same time that Russia dissolved the Warsaw Pact, which is what this whole situation is all about, actually. Go look up the dissolution of the Warsaw Pact, because when Russia dissolved the Warsaw Pact, that's how Ukraine got to be its own country. We can't even talk about that, okay? And because of that whole nonsense, we promised them that we would dissolve NATO. We lied. Okay, I don't like that. The U.S. needs to hold up to its word. Our word is our bond. So if the U.S. said it, we should honor that agreement. Okay, but we told them, as cunning as America is, as slick as we are, that well, you didn't get it in writing, so ha. I can't even. Like, that's me paraphrasing what happened, but essentially that's what happened. You understand what I'm saying? And for decades, Russia, 94, Russia's red line has been not letting Ukraine and NATO, because it's a straight shot right into Russia from there. So now they're talking about, oh, yeah, we should become part of NATO. You become part of NATO, the U.S. should pull out. It's that simple. Because we shouldn't be sending our young men and women to go fight in a war in Europe, later for Europe. I don't live in Europe. I live in North America. That thing is an ocean away. And if we need to, we need a missile shield, just like Trump said. But if we need to, we need to bomb them, be able to bomb them all back to the Stone Age. Okay? We need strategic bombers, new strategic bombers. We need giant air fortresses where we could launch other planes from the air fortresses. You know, Lockheed Martin, not Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, I think it was. Oh, it might have been Lockheed Martin, designed this giant aircraft, flying aircraft carrier. It was amazing. It never got implemented, but that'd have been awesome. It was like some what's that? What was that? What was that? Shield, like Agents of Shield or something type of the thing that was flying around. I forget what it was called. If you remember what that whole thing that Shield had that was flying around was called, that base, drop it in the comments. But it was like that essentially that they made, except it looked more like a plane. But that's not the only thing that I've seen them design. We need stuff like that. If we're gonna have wars in the future, that's what the type of stuff that we need. We need some real old off the cuff stuff. Okay. I also support rods from God. Okay. Militarizing the outer space. China's already militarizing outer space. We need it. The rods from God are a tungsten rods that get launched from satellites in outer space and have impact so serious that it's as if a nuclear weapon hit with no types of explosives or anything, no radiation, no nothing. But we're going to have this conversation another time. We're getting ready to get out of here. I encourage you guys, make sure you like, share, subscribe, share this with your friends, your family, your enemies, everybody you know, and tell them, turn into The Divide with Marcus C. Williams on WRFZ 106.3 Rochester Free Radio, Mondays 2:30 to 4 p.m. I'll catch you guys later. I love you all. Remember, stand up, speak up, and don't shut up. Take action. Be blessed and be well. All right, you guys. Remember, please get active on the local level, wherever it is that you live. Find your local committee for the Republican Party or the Democrat Party, whatever you're registered on. Find that local committee. Get involved. Find out who your candidates are that are running. Get involved. Go to a city council meeting, a town council meeting, a board meeting, whatever. Get involved. If we want to see our country change for the better and improve, we have to focus on local governance. That wasn't even English. We have to focus on local governance. We have to focus on local governance. It's very, very serious. Not enough people actually put the effort into it. And that's how we're going to make a real change. People can say, oh, this president, that president, da 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 da. The president doesn't matter. Our issues are here at home and on the local and state side. I have a governor right now that is like, oh, all of this and all of this and all of that. And all she ever talks about is what's going on the federal level. But guess what? Right now, we've got issues right here in New York State. Where is she talking about our issues in New York State? Nowhere. She's got nothing to say. She's got zero to say about the issues that are happening in New York State, but she won't talk about Trump. In the meantime, homelessness is out of control. In the meantime, we've got crime is out of control. Stealing people's cars, overdoses are out of control. People being sexually assaulted are out of control. People being bludgeoned in the street, being mugged, are out of control. All of this stuff is out of control. And she ain't got nothing to say. Oh, Trump is bad. I'm fighting against Trump. Your job ain't to fight against Trump. Your job is to be the governor of our state and to actually do what the New Yorkers need in our state, but you won't address any of the issues. None of them. Then I got my freaking ridiculous behind state assemblymen and state senators out here. Oh, we support Ukraine. I don't want you to support Ukraine. I want you to support our community. We got people dying every day here. Come on. Stop playing in my face. We got the schools are failing. We got the worst school system in the nation. The worst, not even a joke. The worst school system in the nation. And guess what? We pay the most per student in the nation. And they out there talking about they support Ukraine or they support alphabetism or whatever the case is. That ain't got nothing to do with the serious issues. We can't get more businesses in our city, in our area, because of all the crime and the violence and the lack of people being able to read and write. Okay, we out here graduating, people can't read, can't write, and then people like, oh, that's not true. It's 100% true. You haven't talked to these people. Okay, I had to hire these people. I worked as a hiring manager for many different places. I was a district manager for years. You understand what I'm saying? All we did was hire entry-level workers. And you guys don't understand that these people out here, like when I tell you that they can't read and can't write and they're functionally illiterate, like that's me being very generous. And if they're not able to read or write or do basic math, what are their job prospects in the world? You understand what I'm saying? What is the possibility for them to be able to have an opportunity in the future to succeed and thrive? It's basically nil. And that is something we need to have a very serious focus on. But our state assemblymen and our senators and our governor are so focused on Orange Man bad and countries all the way on the other side of the ocean and all of this nonsense. But right here at home, our people are suffering. Our city council doesn't even talk about the issues that we got going on. The stabbings, the shooting, the drug overdoses, which are pervading our community, but they got the nerve to get out there and say, oh, well, we're signing on for this opioid issue so we can get opioid monies from these opioid funds. Are you serious? But you're not doing anything to address the opioid epidemic here. And we ain't even got an opioid epidemic. They got some old other stuff. These drugs, I do homeless outreach and stuff like that, you guys. Some of you know that I don't really broadcast that widely and stuff like that because I'm not doing it for a play. I'm not doing it for media or whatever the case is to get some pictures and recognition, but I do it because I care. But anyway, I was talking to a homeless veteran the other day, and they were telling me about the drugs that are out there, and they were like, the drugs are crazy. You got to really test the drugs before you take the drugs. I said, what? He's like, yeah, you got to get the little strip and you got to test it and you got to test the drugs before you take the drugs because the people are just dropping dead and nobody's even talking about it. I said, are you serious? He's like, yeah. And he's like, it's really, really bad. He's like, I lost so many friends. Da, 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 da. I'm like, wow, that's terrible. I didn't even know. I know people were dying. But the way he was saying it is like, it's crazy numbers and it goes undiscussed, untalked about, and nobody says anything. Where's our mayor? Where's city council? Where's the county ledge? Nowhere to be found. Okay. Then our governor and again, our state assembly and state senators, they want to talk about everything else except the issues in our community. If we want to see our nation return as a thriving country that creates opportunities for all of its citizens, it has to be up to us to get involved locally. And that's my message for you. Share this post, hit the heart button, hit the thumbs up, and please, you guys, do donate. You can donate on Cash App, $MW Real, the digit 1, that's $MW Real 1 on Cash App. You can do Venmo and PayPal, and that's at Marcus C. Williams, or you can do, GiveSendGo.com/Marcus C. Williams. I'll catch you guys later. Be blessed and be well. Remember, stand up, speak up, and don't shut up. Take action.